everybody to the Cable Oversight Committee, September 19th, 2020. Before we get going, I want to share with our audience and also our board an announcement. Let's see how this goes. Bob, can you see my screen? It's black.
Yes.
This open meeting of the Cable Oversight Committee is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of July 17, 2022. The order can be found on the town's website at www.grafton-ma.gov. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Please note this meeting is being recorded and that the attendees are participating via video conference. Please be aware that others may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait for the chair to yield the floor to you. If members wish to engage with other members, please do so through the chair. The chairman will now confirm that all members are present and that they can be heard.
Excellent. Mr. DeToma, thank you for making that announcement or that promotion. So with that, let's take some roll call. Bob DeToma.
Here.
Bob H.
I'm here.
Paul.
Hi there, I'm here.
Corson.
Hi.
Sean.
Hi.
And Bob Berg is here. That's great. All right, so let's go right to the agenda. Mr. H, you did not receive an agenda. I can share my screen if you wish.
Well, I'm going to want to watch it as we go along. I don't see it in my mail.
Okay, we'll work on that tomorrow, but I know that you are on the group email. You and I will do a test tomorrow.
Okay.
Mr. DeToma, do we have any public input while you're watching?
No.
No. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this over to Mr. DeToma for the treasurer's report.
Okay. We continue to have problems with getting an accurate report from accounting, as they are still working on trying to do the transition over to Vadar. So the report that was forwarded to the committee members, basically the information on that report may or may not be up to the minute. The only part of the report that is actually factual or close to factual is the amount of money that's the balance in the bank, which is $1,095,539.47. And I spoke to the accounting department like Mr. Berger has in the past, and they are still working on trying to get things loaded to Vadar. So I can't tell anyone how long this is going to take. And that's all I have.
Any questions on Bob's report?
When was the last time we got one of these reports that wasn't a problem? A year ago?
No, July. The last report that I gave when I was treasurer, that was the last good report. Then the town changed software.
Yeah, I know.
They haven't converted, but it always happens at the end of the year when they have to certify their free cash. It's just not ready for the balance forward to come over. And then they have to get and generate the report, which again, that hasn't happened yet. They're getting close. I would say Bob should be able to give us a good report October, latest November, with the correct amounts.
Yeah, it's okay. But
Okay.
you know, I'm on the IT committee too, and we have some awareness of this.
Yep. Did everybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes that were distributed? And Corson, I think you did a fine job producing those minutes. I just wanted to say that I was impressed with your format and your detail.
Thank you.
With that being said, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? No discussion. Let's take a roll call. Bob D.
Aye.
Bob H.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Corson.
Aye.
Sean.
Aye.
Bob Berger, aye. That's passed. Mr. DeToma, you're up again on the Verizon contract. If you have any news.
Did everyone receive the draft letter before I begin? That is a yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So the document that was shared with the members is the report that will go to Attorney August, which he will then do it back to myself and to the chair if he needs any additions or any clarification. It goes into a little bit more detail than what was shared with the membership last month. And it has a bit more of a kind of an opening statement or cover letter to it. But that was the format that Attorney August requested. So I don't know that we need to go over everything in detail. I mean, we pretty much looked at it closely last month, but if anybody has any questions, we can.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I mentioned it the last time, but I would, looking at the way that's constructed, I would think that we needed more capable Macs for editing than you priced out. Can't hardly get anything for $2,500, and we need, good. If we got really up-to-date computers, I think what you ask the Macs to do could go a lot faster. Like, I don't know, they're doing conversions of files, aren't they? Formatting of files for upload, and that's a timely process, right?
Right.
And that's the compute power of the computer, and we're using pretty much ancient computers now. We could date if nobody down there knows, I could come down and get the dates on them, just to add to the document. But in any case, I'd suggest, not that it's going to make any difference in, the overall picture with this document, but I'd put in 5,000 each or 4,000 each. Apple's selling configurations aimed at that kind of application, well, serious video work, and there are a good bit more than even that. So
When I hear back from Attorney August, I can go over line by line with him if he has any questions, and I'm fairly certain he'd let us update it if need be. Well, but back in the day when those Macs came on board, where did we acquire them from? Did we get them directly from Apple, or did we go through another vendor, or?
well, they were purchased at different times, and we purchased them directly. Of course, we weren't going through IT or anything like that. It doesn't make much difference where you buy them because Apple controls the prices. I don't remember getting quotes from Apple, so must have been vendors. The people. So
If I remember when we were looking at some Apple stuff, I found out that the town actually has an account with Apple because the schools and so forth use purchases for them as well. So they already have a ready-made conduit of buying Apple products.
yeah, there might be something to be gained through that. 'Cause I think it might be helpful to get at least however many you use to hurry up and get the videos out once they come in from meetings. One or two would sooner would be a good thing. But I think we probably have paths to do that now, through our IP, or if we could. I don't know how we buy stuff anymore. And when we bought those, I had to do it. I had to get the quotes that everybody was happy with, pick the lowest, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll find out from accounting or the TA's office if that account still exists, and if it does, we'll further down the road when we get ready to make a purchase, we'll use that.
Well, okay, I'm just saying, bump up the numbers a bit in the list.
Yeah,
It's only a wish list anyways right now. That's all. That's all that Bob is working.
I understand the list, and I think that you're underestimating on that more than other things.
Yep, but it's not too late to pick that price up. All right, let's move to the next item. Bob, you're up again. Activities in your studio.
so bus stop weather started up again with the beginning of the new school year. So Sophie is back doing that report. And Bridget Kaya, the senior at Grafton High School, today just came in and recorded a community calendar segment, kind of similar to what Chris McCorn used to do. And she listed 4 events that take place in Grafton for the next couple of weeks that people can attend, and she presented it in front of the green screen. So that went out this afternoon. So she'll continue to do that type of thing through the school year. And the people that have come into the studio that have done the jazz sessions with Bill have been spreading the word far and wide to other musicians in the area, that they have been so thrilled with the product that Bill has been able to crack out of the studio, that they've been telling other people to reach out to Bill and contact him. So that has been happening, and he is looking at another group coming in at the tail end of October, and another group already booked for November. So the music side of the main studio has really started to show some promise. Some of the contacts came from Concerts on the Common, and the others being recruited by the gentleman in the jazz trio. So we're excited about that. I think that's all I've got going on right at the moment in the studio.
So I want to add into that. If we're going to get more music in the studio, do you think it would be a wise idea for us to start thinking about, Ian, purchasing now a new audio mixer and all the other associate equipment that goes with getting better quality out of your studio? I mean, I've been talking about a new mixer for a couple of years now, because that is your original from 296 Providence Road. And it's got to be 20 years old.
Right.
And they're not that much money.
So one of the benefits of the gentleman from the jazz trio is that they, as we may have mentioned in previous meetings, they bring in their own audio setup. And these guys are, 2 of the 3, I believe, are professors at Emerson College. So they bring in their own audio setup, and then they give the feed to Bill. Matter of fact, they give Bill a digital file, and then that's where the quality of sound is coming from. They're doing we're doing the video side of it, and they're taking care of the audio side, and they present Bill with the file, and then Bill mates the 2 together through the magic of the Adobe app. It's a perfect sync. So right in the next couple of months, do we need to buy an audio system? No, probably not. But next year and into the next
Thank you, Bob.
year, why not?
Okay. Bob, go ahead.
The mixer, unless you're having a problem with the mixer or you don't have enough channels, yeah, sure, get a new one. But what makes the sound good is the microphones.
Oh, I know.
And that's a much trickier subject. We need to know and be able to use the way this group can, because they know, they have people, part of them know what they're doing. That's the tricky part.
Well, that's with the group that's in the studio now, but Bob said
My
he has
point-
other talent coming in.
I understand that, but the point is, you got to know what you're doing. You got to have the equipment, and then you got to know what you're doing with it. It's not just plug it in and throw it out there. So anyway.
Okay.
I've been getting told that it's not in the budget that we voted, so we can't do it a lot.
No, that's not true. We have,
Well, I've been told that though here.
well, but in our budget, we have like $38,000 for equipment incidentals. And last year we did not use that money, but it's always there just in case a camera breaks or
Yeah.
some large piece of equipment just is gone and we have to replace it to keep us on air.
I understand, and I pointed out that we could, we have money and we could spend it on what we think we need in not waiting until next year. And I got pushed aside on whatever it was. That was a good idea at the time. I still think I could point out a not too expensive Mac that would help with the file conversions in short order. And that might be a benefit. Make those things go faster. Faster is less time spent, and faster is they get to the public sooner.
Yeah, I don't think Mr. Dodoma has a problem getting a meeting out on the air after it's done. I think he's doing a great job at it.
Sooner is better.
I didn't hear you, Mr. H. Repeat that.
Sooner is better.
I don't think he can go any faster than what he's doing right now.
Bob,
Can
how
I,
long does it take for an hour?
can I just add some information, which is completely off topic for what we were talking about?
Sure.
One of the added benefits of the new server system is that it doesn't require us to change or modify the file before we upload it. So that simple function all by itself has sped up the process.
Yeah.
It's a nice little feature, and not only that, but you can literally upload, for example, if we have a black slate that says planning board and we keep it in the switcher in room A, when Bill records the planning board live, we would use the file that Tightrope creates in the server as the primary source. And if we do that, it actually gives you a very simple process to trim the jibber jabber at the front and the end and slap the plate or the intro onto it. And then it goes right up to the server. And that part has added, has chopped off a lot of processing time for the videos. And we discovered that through a phone call with Tightrope, and Danielle came down and walked us through some of the benefits. So videos have been going up, if not the night of the meeting, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, they've been going up the next day, 8:30 in the morning. So we've really cut down on the processing time just because of the servers.
But there is one other piece to it. I'm thinking that those computers are more or less the age of my Mac here, which quite some time ago now stopped getting any updates from Apple. I'll bet you that you're running on as older version of the operating system than I am, which is way behind. And if nothing else, that has to do with security updates.
Well, I seem to
I'd like to check. I'd like to, just get what models we have. I could either come down, or I could tell you, or what to do. It's easy.
I seem to get updates on the Macs once a month. So update requests. I was gonna say that to follow up tomorrow and find out whether or not we have an account with Apple and then get a price on them. I mean, I'm happy to do the research and see what we can get for an upgrade. Right at the moment, the Macs aren't the weak link. Now that the Tightrope server has been installed, it's really not that big of a burden to put them through the Mac. Because as I stated earlier, the new server doesn't care where it comes from. It doesn't care what the file format is. It just accepts it. And it's worked pretty well.
How about editing? Faster computers make editing go better. Anyway,
Well, again, because the file format is coming from the switch event that we create for any live event, if we use that file rather than the Aja brick, we're already saving time because it's already in the server.
yeah, I'm talking about taking a bunch of shots and building a movie, not a meeting here.
You're
Like-
talking about,
Jim, Bill spent quite a lot of work, I think, on that thing about our departed member,
Rick.
Rick.
But he did all that before the new server system came in. So
Right, but it's got nothing to do with the server. You've got files on the computer for each scene, and you have to put them together and move them around and whatnot. And that's controlled by what's in the computer. Forget it. Just forget it.
Well, hold on. Bob, Mr. DeToma, what Bob H is talking about is when you have a producer come in and he's gonna make his own movie or she's gonna make her own movie. They're on those Macs doing the editing, like I started doing when I took that course. But that's really not happening in the studio right now because you don't have producers coming in making any product for TV right now. But if you did, wouldn't they be using those Macs?
they would.
Okay, so let's put on the agenda and course and capture this. Let's put on the agenda for next month. Bob, if you could, I don't know how many Macs you have in there. You might have 4 or 5. Can you give us an inventory of those Macs and all the information on them, which is the year that they were built?
What
Is that a big reach for you?
No, it shouldn't be too difficult.
you go on the Mac, you go up to the top left, where there's a little Apple symbol in the menu bar, and you come down to the first entry. It says about this Mac, and you click it, and then it tells you, like mine says, this one says Mac OS High Sierra version 10.13.6, and then it tells me iMac 27-inch mid 2011. And it goes on and gives a few more things like amount of memory and whatnot. That little bit is what we're talking about getting off of 3 computers.
Yep.
That's not too hard to do, right?
No, so let's get that for next month.
Okay. Well, how about if you get that, Bob, send it to me so I know. Okay.
I think Mr. Thomas said yes. All right, our
Not a
next,
yes.
our next meeting will be October 17th. Does anybody have a problem with October 17th?
I don't have a problem with the date. I was just going to introduce some other issues as well.
Go ahead, Corson.
Okay. One was just as a follow-up, I sent to Bob Hassiger some video clips of that problem that he was experiencing with the video. And I know that was kind of like forwarded on. And I was wondering if Bob DeToma, if you were aware of that, did you see what the video was and how it was all scrunched up in terms of the image?
I saw the email come through, and when I'm looking for the aspect ratio, or when I'm trying to figure out whether or not an image is squashed, the first thing I look at is a government meeting. I think one of the samples you sent was a PSA, and some of the PSAs come through that we download from the Ad Council. Some of the older ones are formatted the old way and probably should be deleted out of the system. And
Okay.
then, sorry,
These were one Grafton, the Grafton Fire Department, and so forth. This was this town.
Okay, I'll start again. So I look at government meetings to see if the aspect ratio is proper.
Okay.
Fire Department PSA, which was created by Bill, that was formatted in the proper format. So when they left to go up to the server, everything was hunky-dory. Whatever squashed them, it's not in the office. It's not something that we did. They went out with the proper aspect ratio. Some of the older programming does go out and it looks bad, and they need to be upgraded. But we're putting out the format with the right aspect ratio because that's what's being loaded into the Mac. Sometimes some of the government meetings that are coming from Zoom, the host computer has terrible aspect ratio, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I don't know if there's anything else you're looking for information. But.
Okay, so it's actually in the recording itself that you'd have to change, you're saying.
Right.
There's a bit someplace in the headers of the file that say what some bit, what's the aspect ratio, and so on. And somewhere along the way, it's getting dropped or not set. And I thought, Bob, that you said that it was supposed to get fixed. You had seen some of that, and it was supposed to get fixed when you replaced the hardware.
So everything, let me start again. Every day when I go into the studio, the first thing I do is I review the output of the 3 channels. So on the public channel, that's where you're going to see some of the older programming that's not going to be the proper aspect ratio. So you almost just kind of glance at it and move on. There is some high def broadcast on the public channel, but it's being bicycled in from other states. When I look at the government channel, if I look at select board, if I look at planning board, anything that's not a Zoom meeting, it's coming across in the right aspect ratio. And then on the school channel, the educational channel, the sporting events, if they are older, some of the older files that they share, those will sometimes not be the proper aspect ratio. School committee, boarded up in room F, is filling the screen for the most part. So the only way that I can track down an issue is if somebody sends me, like Corson did, a photograph, so that I can forward it to the proper authority. But as it stands right now, everything that I look at on a daily basis is coming through with the right aspect ratio. I'm not seeing anything that's squashed. So it's hard for me to talk to Charter or talk to Verizon and say, 3 months ago we had a program that was squashed. They're just going to shake their head and laugh at me. So, but if I have a file that I can show them, specific file, and tell them, look, we loaded it and it was the right aspect ratio, but it went out the wrong way, then I have a little bit more credibility.
The one that I mentioned last time was a brand new show with some of our guys, Jim and somebody, and they were squashed.
I understand that. We talked about this last month, if not the month before.
Right. But that wasn't an old show from someplace.
No, but that was
Something-
loaded, that was loaded with the proper aspect ratio.
Yeah.
So
Look at that right now. See it squashed.
Where is that person?
That's the public channel right now, live.
All right, hold on.
of course, and that's the bulletin board.
Yes, and it's narrow. Is that the way you intend it to be?
That's the way it displays every day. There's no way I can change that.
Too bad.
Yeah, I agree. It's too bad. Should take advantage of the.
No, it's
full-
got to
full
do
width.
with, I think it's got to do with the right bit getting in as it's going to the paths to the cable companies. As it's coming out of the server, there's stuff along the way. Do you think Danielle might have a little clue? She might have contact with this stuff.
She would be happy to do anything that I ask her to do. She comes down quite often. So next time
Okay.
she pops in, which will be pretty soon, I'll mention it to her again.
Okay, I think
Okay.
we've exhausted that.
Yeah, that another subject, if I may. Well, I was looking at that particular issue and trying to help out with that. Uh, I got to thinking about the bugs that we have that are down in the corner of the screen. There is a GCT bug, a GPTV, a GETV, a GGTV for the different ones. And is that bug that we have on there, is that only going out on the live broadcast, or is that becoming part of any of the recordings that we're doing?
It's not a bug, it's added in post-production.
Oh, so it's not part of the
So
live.
a bug
stream.
would appear on the screen 24 hours a day, no matter what was airing.
So it's not on the tape. It's in the server.
It's not in
Okay.
the server, it's being added in post-production.
Got it. Okay. All right. Is there any thought to maybe making that bug, redesigning it to make it so it's a little easier to read, so it's not quite so muddled? It really is sometimes hard to see. I mean, if there might be any kind of, possible redesign for a new bug that might look a little, easier to digest or to see, especially when you have the standard definition. A high definition, you could probably make it out more readily, but it's just hard to see. And is there any consideration to have like maybe a crawler, like a ticker banner at the bottom, as we may need from time to time? Is there anything like that?
What are you asking me for, sir? I'm sorry.
Do we have any provisions, or have we considered having like a crawler that basically can go across the bottom of the screen, like on some of the other broadcasts that can exist, whether it be news or other information, that you can put information on while you've got a video display, like the bug is?
What information do you want to show, Corson?
Well, it could be some graphic news or an update about something. It may talk
And
about voting.
Where does that come from? You want Bob to spend a few more hours a day tracking down news, since we don't have any other news source in the town anymore?
Well, what I'm saying is about news, for example, like we got those wonderful booklets about voting.
Yeah, what about
And the town has certain things about voting, and you could have a little blurb across that would tell you about something, or if there was some piece of information that might be helpful to be read. That's all. I'm just trying to jazz things up a bit.
Let me just say, this is number one, this is not on the agenda. So
It is not. No.
So we shouldn't be discussing it. And let me just throw in there, if you want to put something like this on the agenda, email me and I will put it on the agenda for discussion, even though it's never going to go anywhere, because you said 2 seconds ago, you can't see it anyways. It's too small.
Well, I'm saying the bug is too small.
Well, but you can't put all that information that you're talking about in the lower third. I don't even like the lower third, but you know what? We're going to stop the conversation because it's not on the agenda. And if you want it on the agenda, when I push out the agenda, put it on, and I'd be more than happy to discuss it for 10 minutes.
I'd like us to put new business as an agenda item. Under that, we can't make decisions, but we can bring up
Discuss.
do this sort of thing.
No, I agree.
Hey, how about for the next meeting, we'll have something on, an actual item on the agenda. I used to cover that base ancient, thousands of years ago, because by just saying we're public too, so we get a chance to make input
Oh, absolutely.
if we need to. That isn't limited.
I get you, Sean.
Input, and the body doesn't make decisions about it, but the body can hear about it.
Absolutely. And this is my first agenda in a long time. I have not been the chair here for at least 6 years. And I should have put new business and old business. And I
Okay,
will
good.
work on that for next. Sean, you had your hand up.
Get kind of yes or no answer. Going back
No.
to equipment purchase, equipment purchases, in our budget, in the event we had an issue where a piece of equipment died, we need to replace it, ASAP. Do we just simply buy what we need with the money we have, or do we have to go through a process and get permission?
No, if let's say Bob had a $10,000 piece of equipment that had to be replaced or else he can't go on air, most likely we would hold an emergency meeting so we could all discuss it. We take a vote on it, and then Bob would find a state vendor, which we have, and he would purchase the piece of equipment. We do not have to go out to bid if they're a state vendor.
And if I may, our budget, is it annual, and is it a type of use it or lose it type of situation?
No. We're separate from the general fund. Our funds come in through the license agreement with Verizon or Charter. And we have about $380,000 that come in every fiscal year. And that's how we build our budget. And right now, as you can see the report that Bob gave us at the beginning of this meeting, we have a little over $1 million in our coffers right now. But we only budgeted $440,000 for this fiscal year 23.
Yeah, part of the $1 million is still to pay off the bonds for the building. And that's the difference in those numbers. Actually, we do have somewhere around $3,000 in use it or lose it. I think we're still getting that, aren't we, Bob?
Bob H says yes. I mean, Bob D says yes.
50 cents per subscriber it goes to the general fund, and it. I think we always vote whatever we do, whatever it is that needs to be done, so that that's in our budget, and we try to spend it before it goes away in June. Make sure we do. There used to be a day when that was a very large part of the budget.
I do have just one more topic from the other ones.
Go ahead.
On the website, it does say staff contacts, and it shows Bob DeToma with the title of Digital Media Manager. And I was wondering if we could, if it hasn't already, I don't recall it happened, can we make Bob DeToma an official manager for the station, for the studio? Or do you want to do something like that?
Yeah, let me just speak to that. That is day-to-day operation, which is the town administrator. And I don't think we have a say on that. But if I'm not mistaken, Bob is running the studio. So
yes,
it is his studio, and he must have a title that shows that. And being the digital manager is another title he got probably 2 years ago for other things other than just cable. It was for the town putting out things on Facebook and whatever social media that Bob is out with. Is that a correct statement, Mr. DeToma?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought the committee needed to have some sort of support, basically, to identify, an actual title for him of authority.
He has a title. He definitely.
Why don't you send a note to Evan, the TA suggested. His address is readily available.
Okay. With that being heard, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
There you go. Bob DeToma.
It's not debatable.
Yes.
All right, then that's it. The meeting's over.
No. You have to take a vote, but you can't debate.
Okay. Bob DeToma.
Yes.
Bob H.
Aye.
Paul.
Yes, aye.
Corson.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Well, Burgess says aye. This meeting, it has passed. This meeting is now adjourned.